Greetings and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined as always by fellow hosts Johnny Paulus and Kim Ponticello. Johnny, welcome in, sir.
What's up, buddy?
How are we doing this week?
Sorry,
I was gonna go to Kim first, but now she's laughing uncontrollably.
I know, I gave
already.
her the giggles. I apologize. I'm
already.
Sorry.
how are you doing this week, man?
I'm doing good. I saw a couple good movies. I watched some good TV. It's been a good content devouring week. I saw the new Gareth Edwards movie, The Creator, which is pretty dope. And then my wife and I binge watched Foundation season 1 and 2 over the course of the last 2 weeks. It's a sci-fi written by Isaac Asimov. And one of the fascinating things about it is so there's the Empire that runs the main faction of this galaxy. And Empire is run by the same person that has been continually cloning himself for 400 years. So there's Brother Dusk, who is the older one, and Brother Day, that is the one actually running everything. And then the younger one is Brother Dawn. And when the next Brother Dusk dies, they clone another one. So there's always 3 of these emperors running the Empire. But what makes this show so goddamn fascinating is once we actually come to space travel, time is going to be a different sort of thing, right? It's going to be I'm going to go to this galaxy and I'll be there in 80 years. So everyone I've ever known is going to die while I'm traveling there. And this show just does that. You'll watch an episode and be like, holy shit. And then it'll be 42 years later. And you're like, Jesus. I mean, it's awesome. If you
what show is this? That sounds perfect.
It's on Apple TV and it's called The Foundation.
Okay.
And the main emperor is one of my favorite actors, Lee Pace, aka Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy, or he was the asshole elf king in the Hobbit movies. He's a really good actor. I love him. He's such a good prick. But no, it's heavy sci-fi. You got to fucking pay attention. You got to put your phone down on that one. But I loved it. It was great.
Fantastic. Well, welcome in, Kim.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing this week?
I'm doing great, actually. I've had a really fantastic week so far. Streams have been an absolute blast. I've been actually watching, my partner and I have been catching up on American Horror Story because we've never seen all of the seasons. And we started watching American Horror Story double feature. Did you guys see that one?
I think I watched the first season. That's all I've ever watched of that
It's
show.
really good. It's this couple and their child get this Airbnb place for extended period. And anyway, there's vampires and pills that if you have talent, you crave blood, but you're talented. And if you're not talented, you turn into these beastly vampires that just crave everything. It's actually a really cool season. And it breaks up in the middle and turns to something totally different. So it's 2 seasons in one. So that's been my.
I don't know why I never really went back and watched all of that, because I watched the first season and I did like it. I sort of liked that every season is just sort of its own little thing.
Yeah, that's what I've liked about it. And it's been really cool. It's been fun going back and finally catching up on the ones that we've missed and everything. So, because there's a new one now, Delicate, I think it's called. So that's what kind of made us go back and catch up. Plus, awesome. Lady Gaga's in the newer seasons, and I love Lady Gaga.
Do love me some Gaga.
Yeah.
Yeah, I infamously am horrible at watching TV shows.
He's real bad.
I have a real hard time making time for TV, but every now and again something comes along and grips me. But by every now and again, I mean maybe twice a year. Maybe twice a year I'll watch a TV show. I'm trying to think of the last TV show I really watched. I think it was The Expanse, which I still haven't even finished. I still need to finish that shit.
I'm dying to watch that. Yeah, I need to watch that.
It's really good. Yeah, I'm horrible at keeping up on TV shows. So anytime someone's this new show, this. I'm like, yeah, sure, that. Like American Horror Story. I've never watched any of it. I know loosely what it is, but I've never really sat down and watched it. Yeah, I'm if you're watching on YouTube, great. But I am exactly how I look, completely disheveled. It's been I'm finally settling in at my new job and like figuring out the rhythm of that while trying to get back to some sense of normalcy, especially like in the evening hours. It's been tough. I'm just like, I need to go to bed super crazy early, or I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Cause
It's been very weird not having you at night streams.
yeah, I'm,
Yeah,
Very
likewise.
weird.
yeah, well, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm like, I just know I need to be up and be at this job kind of thing. But I've been stretching it out a little bit more. Like I stayed up till like 11 last night, playing Avatar, and like that felt pretty risque.
Dude, I think I've gone to bed like at 11 or earlier, like twice in the last decade.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's just me getting used to things.
You're adjusting. I totally get
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
So I'm just being overly cautious and all that. So
Yeah, Johnny, what time did you go to bed last night? Just one more. Just one more.
Yeah, 2:20, 2:30, something like that.
I was watching Johnny play Snap. He was explaining some stuff to me, and literally he was like, "This is the last one." He must have said that like 5 times.
Yeah, I dragged another 20 minutes out.
yeah, like I might
It
every
happens.
other night be able to stretch it out to like midnight or so.
Right.
But I've been on that health kick, that health grind lately. So yeah, like in the past, since last Monday, I've dropped like 15 pounds.
Wow.
I've completely changed the diet. I've been going to the gym every other day. And with it being every other day, that means each week, the days that I have to get up super early change. So tomorrow I have to get up super early. So I'm getting up at like 4:45. Yeah. See, this is why I go to bed early.
Fuck that.
So it's getting some adjusting and like trying to find, okay, so when are the times a day now? Because my day's really not all that different. I have a little commute to work, but it's not that big a deal.
Right.
So I'm like trying to figure out when's the time of day that I invest to base stuff, when's the time of day that I invest to video game stuff. And there's just been a ton on my plate lately. Like Sunday, I have this rehearsal. I don't know if you're familiar with the musical The Secret Garden. It's a wonderful old musical.
I mean, I know the movie.
Yeah, so I have my first rehearsal for the musical on Sunday. The actual thing doesn't start until March. But I haven't even touched this music yet, and there's like 40 pieces I have to learn. And it's a mixture of upright bass and electric bass. So like the next 3 days, all I'm doing is playing bass and diving through sheet music. So it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a great weekend. Everyone, welcome in. This is episode 146 of your Power Gamer podcast. As always, we greatly appreciate your continuous support. Lots of you listening to last week's episode and as well the past episodes this past week. So greatly appreciate that. We had a really nice showing on YouTube. You guys are starting to come around a little bit with that like button. I know it's real hard to move your wrist a centimeter to click on the like button.
You're on your phone. Just press the button.
But
just
if you could,
button, just press it.
We greatly appreciate that as well. If you like our content, please consider subscribing. For all you hooligans out there listening to us on audio platforms, you guys rock. You've been leaving tons of nice 5-star reviews. Keep it up. You guys are winning. Way to go. We're going to start off this week's show, as we often do, by discussing the games we've been playing this week. Johnny.
Yeah.
How you feeling, man? How you holding up?
I finally just I put on my fucking big boy pants and I decided that I had to beat this fucking Hellboy game. I couldn't let it go on anymore. I had to fucking do it. And so I just got real focused up and fucking made it happen. My final score for this game is a 6.5. I've mentioned before that I felt the presentation and music and art style and all of that, like everything that is visual and audio, 10 out of 10, perfect. If you're a Hellboy fan, you're going to just be like over the moon over how much it looks like the comic books. It is all downhill from there. The combat is extremely repetitive, and the game is literally, hey, beat these 5 levels. Good job. Now beat those 5 levels again. Good job. Now beat those 5 levels again in a row without stopping. It's brutal. Real fucking brutal. And then when I got the achievement for beating the game and killing the final boss, guess what the completion percentage of this fucking game is on Steam?
You were the first person to do it.
4% of everyone that has played this game has
That's
fucking
so
decided,
bad.
fuck this, I'm going to beat it. So I'm officially going to call absolute bullshit on any of the websites that say this game takes 4 or 5 hours to beat. Yeah, it takes like 4 or 5 hours to get through the first 5 levels the first time. That is not beating the game. You have to do that shit twice. Yeah, no, I hope that these developers get a real budget and are able to make an actual game with an actual story and actual locations, because the art style they've got here is really, really good. And Lance Reddick is a wonderful voice actor, so I know he's no longer with us, but this is a very cool little title for him to be a part of, because he's a great Hellboy in it. But yeah, overall, as a big Hellboy fan, I walked away pretty disappointed. Kind of a letdown.
Yeah, maybe if they, as cool as it is that they got Lance Reddick, maybe they should have just saved that budget for actual game development.
Not a bad call, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's done. It's my second game beat for 2024, so we'll put it behind us.
Did you uninstall it?
No, I did not. I guess I probably should. I'm never gonna touch it again. Maybe I'll get nostalgic in a couple of years and sit down and play it for 10 minutes just to fuck with it. But yeah, I do not see myself.
Just to remember that sensation of repeatedly smashing your dick in a drawer.
Yep. That is the emotion going on.
Yeah, I haven't felt that pain in years.
Yep. I also, because it was added to Game Pass and I've heard a lot of good things about it, I installed Remnant 2, and holy fuck. If you like shooters, you need to play Remnant 2. This is about as tight as they come. It is very, very tight gameplay. Everything runs perfect. Everything operates as it should. I haven't, like, I've had several boss fights that have been challenging, but they've never felt unfair. Like, mechanically, everything with the game works the way that it should, and everything feels the way that it should. And when I die, I know why I died. Like, oh, I'm not getting the timing down on the dodge, or I didn't get the timing down on shooting the orbs before they shoot me. And it's really a lot of fun. I haven't touched the multiplayer aspect of it at all. I haven't even turned it on. I'm just playing it like it's a single player campaign, and it is a fucking blast. I gotta tell you, if anybody likes third person sort of fast paced shooters, Remnant 2 is a gigantic leapfrog from the first one. Because I had the first one, and I played the first one, and I enjoyed the first one, but I never really got sucked into it. I sort of like played it for a weekend and then never really touched it again and lost interest. And then every time I like kind of fired it back up, I just went, this feels like twice the product to me. Remnant 2 is really, really, really strong. So
I bounced off that first game super quick.
Yeah, that was the same thing with me. I played it for 2-3 days and went, But like, again, I'm not even touching the co-op. It's not shoving the co-op down my throat. Like, that was one of the things that bothers me with a lot of these games as a service, is like, you're engrossed in the story and you're doing your thing, and then it's like, Dicknob27 joined your session. And then that guy's just like killing everything ahead of you, and you're like trying to chase and catch up to him. And it's not a fun time, you know? So right now I'm playing that shit full on single player, and it's dope. The boss fights are awesome. The weapons feel great. The power-ups are a lot of fun. Big recommend from Remnant 2. This is going to get a high score. I think it's going to be high 8s, low 9s. Very, very good. Also, a little bit of Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. I'm feeling a little bit of a brick wall here on Avatar. Every time I think my problem is that I want to play this game with a mouse and keyboard, and the controls with the bow and arrow are so precise with like how on the money you have to be to get your headshot, and I'm not great with shooters on a controller. I could do okay with like over the shoulder, but first person, it fucks me up. And like I honestly, I'm like that close to just saying I'm gonna just let the kids play Avatar on the PlayStation, and I'll get around to that shit when it's like on a Steam sale and I can scoop it for $20, because I think this game on a PC with mouse and keyboard, I don't think I'd be able to stop playing it. But I'm butting heads a little bit with the controller. Also fired up Final Fantasy Origins Stranger of Paradise, which is now a part of PlayStation Plus, and wow, this is not the polished product that Final Fantasy 16 was. This looks like a PlayStation 3 title, ladies and gentlemen.
I played the demo of it, and yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's oof central. I played one session for it. I'm a little intrigued with the fact that there's a bunch of different weapon sets, and you can switch between which two that you want. So I now have like a mage and a big sword, so I'm able to like switch and throw a fireball and then switch and swing my sword. It's getting a little bit more fun, but yeah, no, the presentation on this is definitely not developed by Square, and you can tell the moment it fires up, you're like, okay, this is not the same thing that we've been enjoying with other Final Fantasy titles.
Yeah, I kind of want to jump back to it like for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
just because I recently just beat the original Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
which this Stranger of Paradise is a retelling of Final Fantasy 1, which is kind of cool.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So
That's
it's the whole exact story from Final Fantasy.
Well, and the main reason why I fired it up is I got curious. I wanted to see how long it takes to beat, and it's like a 17-hour game. It's pretty short. So, you know, an action RPG, little slasher, knock it out in 15, 20 hours. It's not too bad. You know, so I don't know. I didn't hate my time with it, but it is definitely, it's a little janky. The graphics are a little not great. The number one thing about the graphics that bothers me is like the lighting and the shadows are awful. There were so many cinematics where it's like one character talking to another, and just the way that they're lit looks like a 1998 video game. Like there's no shadow, it's like everybody has a fucking spotlight directly on their face. Really, really strange. But yeah, so playing that a little bit. We'll see if we stick with it. Also a game that I got with my humble monthly bundle is a game called Midnight Fight Express. Go on YouTube and search this title. This is a isometric brawler. So it sort of feels like
Redeemer.
Yeah, kind of like Redeemer, or like Streets of Rage, but more polished. Or if Hotline Miami had less shooting and more fighting and was isometric instead of completely over the top. But it's actually a pretty fun game. The combat is very sort of buttery smooth, and it feels great, and it's like very fast paced. And I actually had a lot of fun with it. I only played it for like maybe 2 hours, but dude, for those 2 hours, I was in it. That game's
this looks
a lot
kind
of fun.
Yeah, this looks good.
It's very fun. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And lastly, today I fired up the Prince of Persia Lost Crown demo, and it's everything we thought it was going to be. It's a super tight Metroidvania. The as soon as I got into one of the temples and there was like the spinning blades and the spikes on the wall, and I'm like, they fucking did it, man. It's a Prince of Persia game. That's what I wanted. And then immediately after I get past those little blades, there's like the one bad guy with the badass weapon that I've got to like parry or dodge at the right time to get him. And that is what Prince of Persia was. Prince of Persia was very much like you get past a couple puzzles and then there's one dude with a sword and you're like, oh, fuck. And those guys can kick your ass if you're not careful about it. But no, this is a very, very tightly wound Metroidvania game. This is going to be the next title that I will be getting from GameFly, and yeah, no, I'm all over this game. I can't wait. But yeah, I knocked through some games this week.
Sounds like it. Kim, it also
Yes.
looks like you've got a nice list going on here. What have you been up to?
Yeah, so obviously I'm still playing Flipwitch. My next episode will be on Ko-fi tomorrow. And all I'm going to say about this week's episode is that I had to fight a goblin queen who sounded like she was from the hood in New Jersey and had a really big nose that I didn't notice until she mentioned it. My eyes were definitely not focused there. Interesting.
Does she have a dick nose? Is that what you're saying?
It was like just square and pointy, but her knockers were gigantic.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm
Also
noticing
pierced
a theme with that.
again. Yeah. I've been playing a game called Labyrinthe. It's a multiplayer horror game where you have to solve puzzles and you're literally in a labyrinth. And there's like you're in like a tree maze, like a bush maze. And so I've been playing that with a few friends, and that's been a lot of fun. It's like the enemies are like kind of cheesy, like it's not like this super high quality game, but it's good for some good like spoopy fun with friends. It's fun. It's silly. League of Legends new season started, and I have no idea what I'm doing. There's no more mythic items for anybody who plays League who's listening. No more mythic items. You can now build whatever items you want again. So instead of, this may not make sense to people who don't play League, but instead of having to choose between a Luden's Tempest or Liandry's, you can now build a Luden's, a Liandry's, a Rod of Ages. And so it's been fun going back to where League used to be, where you can just build items and not have to find a mythic that you want to build. So that's been a lot of fun.
That's how I left it.
Yeah, no,
like
you're
my
you're talking
1,000 hours back in the day.
Yeah, you're talking about Mythic. I got no fucking idea what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
they did it where you could only have one. You had to pick your mythic item, and then if there were components for a different item, so you couldn't have Ludens and Liandry's. You had to pick one and build it. And so now you can just build any of those items you want. And there are a few little items that you can't build together, but for the most part, they've turned it back into just like building items you want to use. And so that's been really cool to experience. But man, I hopped on my main last night. I hopped on my main Bard, and I was like, what do I even build on him? I was like so lost. So I have to go and look at all the items. But it's cool to like, it's refreshing. I feel like they needed it. I've been playing Vermintide 2. Played some of that again. It's been a long time since I've played Vermintide 2. And Sienna, the Pyromancer, has a new class, Necromancer. And man, is it fun. Like, it is fun. If you haven't been on Vermintide 2 in a while and you're into necromancy, Sienna's new class is astounding. It's a lot of fun. You guys play Vermintide at all?
I have a little bit.
I have too, but it's never hooked me.
Yeah, I bounced off that almost as quick as I did the new 40K one that came out.
Oh, Darktide?
Yeah, what's funny is I'm actually like a Warhammer fan. Like I used to have like the big armies and stuff, and really into it. But those games are cool.
Darktide,
but
I couldn't get too into Darktide. Vermintide, I love.
Man, they just feel real repetitive.
Like, they are repetitive, yeah.
If I have people to play it with, it's fun. But if you're like playing it by myself, solo queuing,
I wouldn't play by myself. I play with my friends. Yeah,
it's miserable that way.
Yeah, I do not play by myself.
I mean, that's why I don't play any of these games as like Destiny or any of those. Is like if you got a posse to roll with, those games are fucking awesome. But
yeah, yep. Getting real close to the end of Alan Wake 2. It's been absolutely astounding. I completely understand why it won awards. I love it so much. I just got past Saga's big fight with Tor and Odin doing, I don't want to give any spoilers, but what a scene. That was so much fun. And honestly, the best thing I've done, I literally just commented on somebody's tweet today too, who was asking, without spoilers, give me some advice about Alan Wake 2. And somebody had said, swallow your pride and put it in story mode. And I was like, absolutely. I feel like that's the way it was meant to be played the first time, is just in story mode, because you go through and you have like, it's about the story and like all the cool things and getting to re-meet Thor and Odin. And like, it's honestly, I'm so happy I went into story mode. I am, because it's like, instead of having to do things again and again and freak out because you don't have the right stuff, you got soft locked. It's like getting through this really cool story, and I'm loving it. So good.
I'm always an advocate for that.
Mhm.
I think I was when you made the change when you were playing it. I was like,
Yep.
just lower the fucking difficulty.
Yeah. Yep. It was the best thing I did.
Like, nobody cares, and if they do
Nobody
care,
cares.
and if they do care, they can fuck.
100%. Absolutely. If you like Civ management, I like Civ management. I love a good Civ management game. New Cycle is coming out on January 18th. And full disclosure, I got the game from Daedalic. That's the publishers. They've made, if you look them up, they've made so many games. They've published a gajillion games. And New Cycle is an absolutely fantastic Civ management game that I highly recommend if you're into that genre. Daedalic also came in and hung out in chat and trolled with the rest of the community, which was absolutely so much fun.
So
I have to real quick. Johnny did this to me before, so you're not the first, Kim. Daedalic.
Okay. Daedalic.
Tomato.
Tomato Sharknado, dude.
No, you are correct. They're a very well known studio.
Yeah.
But I was like, who the fuck are you talking about, Daedalic? I'm like,
somebody in chat told me they call it Daedalic. And I was like, that's weird. That's like licking data.
Daedalic?
Daedalic.
No, it's just Daedalic.
Daedalic? Okay, anyway. I'm sure we're actually both pronouncing it wrong because they're German. So there's got to be some sort of accent in there, yeah?
So I am so confused. Yeah, because Daedalic is who did Gollum. Is this something completely different? Like, am I?
Well, yeah, because they only published, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, publishers have nothing to do with how bad a game is developed.
Well, no, Nacon published it.
Oh, Daedalic made it? They developed it?
Let's see. No, Daedalic's a small publisher, part of Nacon. Okay, never mind.
Okay, so yeah, Johnny, you were putting your finger up. What? You're muted.
I just Googled it and I found a YouTube video for the correct pronunciation, and it is Daedalic.
Is it?
Yep.
I've always heard it Daedalic.
Thank you.
Daedalic.
Anyway,
I guess I'm wrong then. Fuck.
But if you like Civ management, I highly, highly recommend it. Comes out January 18th. I don't know what the price point is. I don't have Steam up right now, but definitely a cool game. I'm gonna be doing like a little YouTube video about it because I really enjoyed it. And the tutorial was nice. It was like it wasn't like super hand holding, but it gave you everything you needed to get started. And the graphics and like the scenery is really, really nice in the game, so it's pretty cool. I have been playing through Fractured But Whole and have been laughing.
That fucking title. I
got to meet, what's her name? Something Boutte. I got to meet her recently. She's a joy. It's the combat's taking some getting used to because it's so different than the first one.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun. Like that, I'm like actually excited for Snow Day. I cannot wait for Snow Day now because I'm like, these games have no right being this good. They're so good. And I love that they're so progressive and inclusive because I think a lot of people think that South Park isn't. But I mean, like I said on one of my YouTube shorts, just the fact that Kenny wanted to be a princess and all of his friends and family, everybody was like, well, so what? Kenny wants to be a princess, so he's Princess Kenny. Like, nobody cared. Who cares? Let him be Princess Kenny. So and in this one, I was able to choose to be a transgender female. And the counselor like called up my character's parents and he was like, okay, did you know? And the parents are like, of course we know. It's just so good. It is so good. And then finally, along with Johnny, I did play Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown today. I did get it. Full disclosure, I have the full game from Ubisoft as an Ubisoft partner, and
So jealous.
and it is so good. It's so clean.
Yeah.
And the combat is so good. And the voice acting is astounding. The art style is gorgeous. And the scenes where there's conversations reminds me of Ruin King, with the pictures popping up with a little bit of animation and the text on the bottom.
Hades, a little bit of Hades vibes.
A little bit of Hades. It is absolutely, they nailed it. They nailed it. And it's beautiful. And I cannot wait to play more. And even the sound design in it, like at one point during stream, I had literally said, guys, listen, when you jump from wall to wall, hearing his palms hit the wall, like you can, and it sounds like somebody's palms hitting a wall, and it's absolutely beautiful, and I love it, and I'm very, very happy with it, and I cannot wait to play more.
I'm so sorry. I'm so confused with Daedalic.
You're still on this.
Well, no, not the pronunciation, because after Gollum, they whacked most of their internal development team.
So it is the same developer.
It is, yeah, 100%.
Well, they developed Gollum?
They did.
Okay.
So,
or was a team from them?
In June of 2023, Daedalic shuttered its development division, affecting 25 of its more than 90 employees. The closure came as a result of poor reception and performance of the studio's final internally developed game, The Lord of the Rings Gollum. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I just written them off at this point because I thought that was it for any of their internal development. They were just going to focus on publishing.
Well, yeah, News Cycle, they published News Cycle.
Gotcha.
It was developed by Core Engage.
Core Engage, which I couldn't find much about Core Engage because I was looking to see if maybe that was a small subsidiary, especially when Daedalic came in to stream. I was like, well, that's interesting because normally the publishers don't. A lot of times, like the developers will come in and say hi and stuff. So I'm wondering if it's a part of Daedalic, but I have no idea. But it's a really good game, and yeah, News Cycle was pretty fantastic.
It looks like News Cycle is their first game.
Okay.
And it looks like they're now working on a multiplayer first-person shooter.
Oh.
Covering an alternative and distant future that contains various mechanics such as drive and combat, craft and build, and management. Interesting.
Okay.
I'm still blown by the Daedalic thing. I swear to both of you, I have only ever heard anyone in media refer to it as Daedalic, so I'll have to find some evidence. But apparently Johnny's already thwarted it.
I just Googled it because I was curious, and there's a YouTube video, and they said Daedalic.
That's so crazy.
Exactly how they pronounced it.
My mind is fucking blown inside out right now. I guess on to what I've been up to. Like I said, I've been adjusting to the new work free time schedule. So I've basically been shoveling all of my time into Avatar. I just almost said it like you did, Johnny, which like was nails on a chalkboard for me. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. I don't have like problems with controller aiming, thankfully. So I don't have any of Johnny's commentary to share about this game.
But I feel like I'd feel like Johnny does because I'm a PC person. I love mouse and keyboard, especially shooters. Yeah. Like anything where I have to shoot, I'm much better with mouse and keyboard. Anytime you watch me play a game and I'm on controller and I'm shooting, literally I must say 30 times, I hate using controller for shooting.
Yeah, I literally use a controller on my PC. Is how I play shooters. So doesn't bother me one bit.
Right.
The game's awesome. It's really good. I mean, it shouldn't be understated that at the center of everything going on in this game, is it a Far Cry game? Yes. Do I love Far Cry games? Yes. And it very much is one, just in the Avatar universe. And I mean, if you're looking for the same level of polish and sheen that we saw in Far Cry 6, which is like one of the best open world shooter games ever,
Yeah.
it's all there. That's all there in
Yep.
Frontiers of Pandora, which, guys, the game's on PC. So I'm lost with this mouse and keyboard thing.
Well, no. So, like I said, I bought it on the PS5 because Liam wanted it for Christmas.
Oh,
so
let's
now
clarify.
own it on the PS5.
Let's clarify. Johnny has a weird and unique issue.
Yeah, no, I said
Okay.
that.
Yes.
I fully said I'm getting real close to just waiting until I can get it on PC for a lower price, and then I'll play it on PC.
And it's not on PC. Is it part of, Kim, you might know because your ties to Ubisoft. Isn't it just part of Ubisoft Connect? Can people check it out there, or do you want a second?
Yeah, no, you can. The Ubisoft Plus thing, you can do it there.
Okay, sweet.
Ubisoft Plus, you can do it there.
I'll just do that then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just snag a little Ubisoft Plus action, and there you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
That's what I'm thinking of doing.
Yeah. Perfect. And this game would be worth it because this game is fantastic. I don't want to give away any spoilers. I mean, presumably most of you out there have seen the first Avatar movie, and it leans into it a little bit at the beginning, and then it just lets go and does its own thing. So, like, if you're afraid, I haven't really watched the Avatar movies, or I'm not an expert in the Avatar universe, this might not be for me. No, it's fine. They'll mention one character from the old Avatar movie that you'll be like, I don't know who the fuck they're talking about. Well, and then they never mention him again.
And the entire plot and premise of the Avatar movies is blue people good, humans bad. I mean, that is the plot of you're fine. If you can get that wrapped around your head, you're good.
Well, what's funny is, like, the whole thing with Avatar and why it's called that is because there's humans, aka sky people, aka the RDA, that for whatever reason thought they needed to make like controllable bodies of the Na'vi in order to interact with them, which is completely fucking stupid just to begin with, because anytime a Na'vi sees an avatar, they're like, oh, I know you're just a human controlling this fake body because you can't speak our language and know none of our culture.
And their fingers, they have a different count of fingers. Gives them away immediately. If you're going to make an avatar body, why would you have the wrong amount of fingers?
So it's the dumbest thing ever, right? It's so fucking stupid. Just the whole premise of the Avatar, which the series is named after. And I mean, I'm in so far. There's one avatar that stands around at the quest hub. It's kind of weird, and you're like, oh, okay. Hey, you white chick in a blue body, what's going on? And then it's back onto business. So, man, my only gripe with Avatar is that it's even called Avatar. It's like the Na'vi are so cool.
Yeah.
They're so awesome. As you play this game, of course, it has the leveling and unlocking of new abilities. Oh my gosh, the abilities get wild the more and more you play it. So it's really good. It's really good. And now I'm like, it always takes me a minute with these games to like get down the map and get down the quest tracking and all that.
Yeah, I struggle with that too.
I'm in. I got it. I know all of it. So now I'm just flying through Pandora, doing all sorts of cool shit. And this game's awesome. Just play this game. As I've been going to bed earlier and reaching for my Switch so I can spend a little time before it's nights, I reached onto my Switch collection and yanked out a game that I was like, man, I've been looking at this game for a while. I need to play this game. It's just been sitting here for years. And I pulled out and fired up Undertale, which is a well-known and well-loved little game. And yeah, it's cool. It's real cool. So definitely has one of the most unique battle systems
Yeah.
in it. I don't know that it's necessarily the game's strong point. Because it's basically a timing game with a moving slider. Like, it feels very Commodore 64, the battle system. But it's so weird and so different that it's kind of neat. So you do your little timing thing to smack the enemy, and then in this giant square at the bottom of the screen, you have your heart. You know, like, it looks just like one of the hearts from Zelda.
Yeah.
And the enemy's attacks take place in the square, and you have to dodge them with your heart.
Mm-hmm.
So all this bullshit's flying at your heart, and you're like trying to move it around the screen so you don't take damage. I've gotten so far as the end of what I feel is the intro sequence, where I'm underground and I have the weird goat monster that wants to be my daddy, and I'm trying to break free. That's where I'm at. No daddy goat man. No, sir. You stay away from me. Giving off real creeper vibes. Star Citizen have continued to play.
Wait, hold on. Gotta tell you how much I love Undertale.
Oh, go for it. I had no idea.
Funny story. Number one, a very, very good friend of mine and I are getting matching Undertale tattoos. That's how much I love Undertale. And once you finish the game, I will tell you what tattoo we're getting, because the tattoo we're getting is major spoiler.
It's the weird goat man, isn't it?
No, it's not the weird goat man. Second thing, when I streamed Undertale, I streamed it and I also streamed the game in Discord, and I had a gaggle of people with me and we all did the voices. And it was so much fun. And when you get to meet Professor Alphys, I want you to imagine her with a voice just like this, because that's exactly how I did her voice when we streamed it. And it was perfect. It was perfect.
That's a pretty good voice.
It was great. It was so much fun. That's honestly, I didn't know if I was going to like it. And we played through it, and every single stream that I did it, everybody was there with me, and we all did the voices, and it was glorious.
I feel like it's kind of short,
and there's
too,
a second
if I
part
remember
as well,
right.
by the way.
It's not a very long game.
Yeah, it's not super long.
Nice.
Yeah.
More on that to come, because
Yes.
I'm definitely going to keep playing that. Not much to say on my last ones. I played more Star Citizen, and I did things. And that's what you do in Star Citizen. You
flew around and munched chips.
Actually, no. I was doing combat. I was leveling up with the bounty hunters so I could do bounties that were more difficult. It takes fucking forever, so it's a time investment. Star Citizen. And then the thing that I've been playing the most, of course, with me bouncing to work and being an office potato a lot, has been Marvel Snap. Now, obviously, my playtime is going to decrease now that I have 5 projects on my desk, which feels amazing. But I played a lot of Marvel Snap. This season sucks.
And there's meta's all over the place right now.
So I've been bouncing around a lot with different ideas, and I'm finally almost to infinity now with Johnny, one that you're going to find kind of interesting. I'm playing old school Sarah Control. Old school Sarah, Hit Monkey and all of it. And it is shitting on the current meta. So heads up before all these YouTubers come out and go, "You're never going to believe what's back."
Yeah.
Get on it before people start countering it and get to infinity like tonight.
Okay.
Sarah Control, the easiest, cheapest, everybody has it fucking deck, is absolutely murdering the current meta.
Cool.
Slight variation to it that includes Shadow King.
I'd say Shadow King would be the new card to throw in that.
That's what I was gonna say too. I was gonna say,
Yeah, Shadow King all the way.
Yeah, that's totally what I was
I'll
gonna
shoot
say
you a
too.
copy of my deck, Johnny. It's
Please do. Yeah, I'll take it.
You'll hit infinity in no time. You just have to remember you don't ever want Prio, and as long as they're not playing Goliath, you're good to go.
You put Ghost in that deck, and then you never have Prio.
Yeah, you don't need Ghost.
I like Ghost. Ghost is fun.
That wraps up what we've been playing this week. What haven't we been playing? Uh-oh. This is a dangerous question because for all the goddamn games we play, which is a lot. I mean, me and Kim both beat over 40 games last year. Come on. There's a lot that we missed. And it feels bad, man. You know, if I gotta say anything about the current state of gaming that has been infuriating, it's just how much shit is coming out.
So many fucking games.
And they release them right on top of each other all the time. And so because of that, I have missed some pretty big games. And it looks like you both have as well. Kim, let's go to you here.
Yes.
To start off, because you've got some names in here, and some of them we were talking a little bit before the show. I'm like, I'm not even familiar with all these ones in here. So
yeah,
if you don't mind warming us up, let's dig through what you missed in 2023.
Let's do it. I don't feel as bad about missing games just because I'm like, I'll play them at some point. But I mean, I'm also like, we've talked about the whole nostalgia thing. I'm like not nostalgic. I'm not like, oh man, I wish I would have played that. I'll just play it whenever, But these are the games that I'm like, I definitely have. I'm going to play these. I want to play them this year because I missed them. I don't often play new games. I almost feel like I just wait. I don't know why I wait. Anyway, the first one is Dave the Diver. I have it. Pike bought it for me. My partner bought it for me. And it's the best way I can describe everything I've seen of Dave the Diver is ADHD love in a game.
Yeah.
Because there are so many different aspects to the game. There's going underwater and collecting things. There's serving at the restaurant. There's so many different aspects to this game. And I was watching my buddy Lissa stream it and I was like, this is heaven. Like, this is amazing. But I haven't had the chance to get to it yet. I really haven't. And Pike's played it. My partner's played it. And he tells me all the time, this is your type of game. Yeah. You have to play this. I'm like, I know.
It's on my list too. I really want to play it. I actually, it's funny you mentioned I watched the trailer 2-3 days ago. I'd never watched the trailer. And it looks like there's 40 mini games in this fucking game.
There are so many different games. Yep. So many different games.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I want to play it too. I watched a lot of Captain Richard and Professor Broman stream the game right when it came out. And it scratches that itch for me too. Someone who is the opposite of ADHD. Whatever the opposite affliction is to someone who is just the least ADHD person on the planet, that's me. This game still has definitely has my attention. I forgot to put it on my list, but yeah, seriously, one that I want to pick up. For me, it feels like a Switch game. Looks like a game I want to play on my Switch and hang out on the couch and kind of fool around with. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
have a high Switch tolerance though. So
yeah, I get that. My next one is Lies of P. I played the demo and I loved it. But I have to tell you, as much as I want to play it, and it's right there, it's on Game Pass, there's nothing stopping me.
Right.
Except for the intimidation factor. I am so intimidated by that game because I've watched people who are Souls-like players struggle. And I am like, that game is going to kick my ass. That game is going to kick my ass from here to Europe. I literally, And so I'm
What
like,
are you wait? What are you waiting for then? That's a free fucking ticket to Europe.
but I don't want my ass kicked the entire way there, okay?
That's a good point, though.
You'll recover.
I've been wanting to play this game and I'm like intimidated by it. I'm not kidding you. I am worried that I'm going to start it and I'm going to love it because I love the aesthetic and it's I really want to play it, but I'm afraid that I'm going to love it and that it's going to like make me want to pull my hair out because I'm going to want to beat it, but it's going to kick my ass the entire time.
It's very pretty. It's a very pretty game.
Yeah.
This
So,
game,
yeah,
this game
yeah.
is also on my list.
Yeah.
And I am a big, at this point, I can say this. I'm a big fan of Souls games. I have heard from my fellow Souls loving colleagues that the end boss of this game is harder than anything from any of the From Software games. And that it will break you as a person.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But that the ending of this game is so mind-blowingly good that it's more than worth the pain.
I know.
You're gonna die a fucking ton playing this game.
Yeah.
A ton.
I'm curious to know if I'm gonna die more playing this over Ghost Runner. Probably, right?
No.
You don't think so?
No, because Ghost Runner is like built for you to die and then instantly respawn and die again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ghost Rider, you can die 5 times in 10 seconds. Easily.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
The main thing that's going to be a tough one for you to have to figure it out on camera, if that makes sense. Because like, have you played the other Souls games? Any of them?
Yeah,
like
I've played a few. Yeah.
Completed any of them?
The only Souls game I've gone through and really completed was Bloodborne.
Okay. That's a good one to have completed. That's a good gauge because I think this is gonna be more on that game's level.
Okay.
But yeah, just do your homework before you start the character so you can get the build right. Because the worst thing, I'm watching Cul-de-sac play Elden Ring right now, and like he had played it, bounced off it, stopped, and then came back. And before he came back, he's like, "Hey Mike, what are your tips for playing Elden Ring?" I gave him all these tips. This motherfucker didn't take any of them. I'm like, shields suck. Do not use a shield. This motherfucker is fighting Godric last night. And he's
with a shield.
Walking in, he's got his shield, his sword, his armor. Like he looks like the fucking cover character. And he's fat rolling all over the place.
Oh my god.
I'm just like, dude.
Double katana all the way.
Well, that's what I told him. I'm like, do the bleed build. Because I didn't even do the bleed build. I'm like, but do the bleed build because it's the cheapest shit on the planet.
I beat Radahn my first try, and I suck at Souls-likes.
You are awful at them. It's infuriating to watch, honestly.
No, I fully admit I'm terrible at them.
Poor Johnny. It's like he finally sat down and played one and beat it, which is like this huge achievement for him. You know what I mean? Because Souls games have been your kryptonite for years. But then you did the whole thing on stream because Intrinsic gifted you the game.
Yeah.
And so you just
With
had
Elden
to
Ring? You did all of Elden Ring on stream?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it.
He did.
Yeah.
So he also had to deal with not being very good at Souls games, using the most overpowered build while having people watch him play it.
Constantly coming in. You should do parry build with.
I'll tell you what, that is
Bro,
the hardest thing
don't
about.
give a fuck.
It is the hardest thing about streaming Souls-like games. That and like when I was playing Elden Ring, I didn't get very far in Elden Ring because my CPU couldn't keep up at the time and whatever. It's on my list, but having people come in, I can't tell you how many people came in and like told me that they didn't use any summons. And I was like, okay, fucking good for you. Like, I am. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want me to
Right.
say.
You're
But I
crazy if you
also-
don't use them. You're
Yeah.
But
crazy.
I also had people. So I beat Margit, right? And I died like 5 times, right?
That's pretty
And
good.
so yeah, and I had so many people who were like, "Yo, that was amazing," and I was like, "Thank you," because I got so sick of people telling me how they didn't use summons, and I'm like, "Good for you." I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah.
I'm using a summons. Like, I don't know what you want me to
Most people
say.
get to Margit and die about 50 times before they
Oh,
figure
yeah,
it
I
out.
died 5 times.
Yeah, I remember it was quick.
Yeah, it was very fast. Yeah.
Sorry, I've completely derailed this, and we've
Yeah, it's
got
okay.
a lot to
It's
get
all right.
through. So
Yeah, we do.
pass it back to you.
My next one, totally different game, Hi-Fi Rush. I've been wanting to play it. It's been on my list. The game is beautiful and brilliant, and the soundtrack is phenomenal, and it's right up my alley, and I have not played it. Why?
Short too.
Too many games.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Too many
not.
games.
It's not super short. I don't
I
get
thought
it
it was like
twisted.
an 8-10 hour game.
Nah, it's. I completed Hi-Fi Rush, and this game will take Mickey at least 25 hours.
So it's an 8-hour game.
Which you'll note there, I reverted back. You'll note there, I reverted back to calling her Mickey because she's going to be streaming it, and Mickey takes a while.
When Kim plays a game off stream, 1, 2, 3. Playing on stream, oh yeah, no.
But no, even when I played it by myself, I think I probably was around the 12-hour mark before I beat it. Like it's substantial. There's a lot to it. You could just rush through the game, but
I don't rush through any games.
It's fucking fantastic.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've been
The
wanting
story is incredible in the game. Like it feels like back. You remember back in the day, back in the 90s when we had these big awesome movies that were made for like kids and teenagers, but everybody watched them, adults included, because you're just like, holy shit, this is just the most amazing stuff ever. It feels like one of those.
to. Okay. I mean, that's great. Yeah, I've been wanting to play it.
It's a really great story.
Yeah. I'll get, I think it's in my bowl. It might be in my bowl. I don't know.
Just pull it. Just
Yeah.
pull it.
Yeah.
You don't
Well, I'm
wanna
going to
wait
be
on
doing,
this
I'm
one,
going to
so-
be doing a channel point redemption. It's going to be a lottery. We decided I'm going to have a lottery. And if you win, you can pick my next game from my list.
Sweet.
Yeah,
You should
it's gonna be
make
pretty cool.
a 500,000 point redemption where you just no lottery, no nothing. You just get to
Pick a game.
500,000. Yeah.
That's
Or
a
a
lot
million.
of points.
Or $1 million.
There are so many people with that many points. It's insane.
This is how you burn them up.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I
It's true.
have 500,000 on your channel already.
Yeah.
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 So
Next one is Layers of Fear. I beat both of the original. I beat Layers of Fear and the second Layers of Fear, which I don't think it was called Layers of Fear. I can't remember. Anyway, both absolutely amazing. And now they like remastered them and put them into one, Layers of Fear, that came out in 2023. And it was on my list. And I've been dying to play it. And I love Tony Todd, and Tony Todd voices it, the narrator in it. And I just haven't gotten it. I don't own it. And I say that, but sometimes people give me games and I forget. So I should really check before I say that. But I've been wanting to play it and I haven't. And I'm a big horror game fan. I wear a heart rate monitor when I play them. And I'm a big baby, but I love being scared. And so I let myself just get completely engrossed and terrified. And I just haven't played it yet.
yeah, one of my favorite nighttime streamers, an Eternal Enigma, recently just completed a playthrough of every Bloober Team game over like the course of 2 weeks. And he streams so late that he's still on at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, like when I'm getting up for work. So I continue to watch. And I watched a lot of these new Layers of Fear games, and yeah, they look really good. So if you played the medium and were like, I don't know about Bloober, no,
I like the medium. I thought the medium was good.
It was good up until the end.
Yeah, yep.
Layers of Fear sticks to the landing. So
Layers of Fear, the original Layers of Fear, and the second one were absolutely. Layers of Fear, the first game was one of the scariest games I've ever played. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, that was a good one. Next one is the Expanse Telltale series. The only reason I have not played this is because I have yet to watch the Expanse. And so I want to watch the Expanse first, and then I'm going to play the Expanse Telltale, because the only 2 games I have not played from Telltale is this one and their Jurassic Park game.
I haven't played that one either.
And all the rest I've played and all the rest I've loved. I'm going to say it again, except for Back to the Future. That game drove me crazy. But I really want to play this, but I really want to see the show first.
Definitely watch at least the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And then see how you feel.
Yeah.
You need the first 2 though, at least.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it gets fucking crazy after that.
Yeah.
One of the TV shows I made time for, The Expanse.
Okay. All right. My next one is a game that not many people have heard of. I got to have an early preview of it. The developer sent me a copy of just a demo, like a small demo version, called Shadow Gambit: The Cursed Crew. And if you like turn-based tactic games, isometric, and if you like pirates, this game is beautiful. The graphics are stunning. The voice acting is absolutely amazing. The storyline is great. The game is amazing. And what's really sad is the developer, after this came out, the developer was like, guys, we hate to tell you this, but we're closing up shop. We are no longer making any games. But this game is astounding. I don't own it, but it's one of those games that I'm like, when I'm ready to play it, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to play it, because it is, I had such a good time on the demo. I literally made a YouTube about it because I liked it that much. It was very, very good. So I highly recommend it if you like turn-based.
This was a title that I'd never heard of when I saw your list, and you linked me to your video, and I mean, I skipped through it, and this is me up and down. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yep, highly recommend.
XCOM, but pirates. Here's my wallet.
Yeah, really, really good.
Amen.
My next one is Chants of Sennaar, which my very, very good friend Roxy recommended to me. And you are basically, it's literally like a language game, but you're learning these like ancient languages to figure out puzzles. And actually, Revealing Too Much played it. He didn't play it on stream. He was playing it off stream and said it's absolutely fantastic. So that's definitely on my will play soon list. Because I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. But another one of those games that like nobody really knows, you know, which are most of the games I find.
The art style of that just looks great.
Chants of Sennaar, yeah, it reminds me a lot of like Journey, games like that. Robocop Rogue City, which I also have, and I've heard nothing but the most amazing things about it. But again, just too many games, and so I haven't played it yet, but it is absolutely on my list.
Me too.
Dick shooting simulator. So good.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. And then my final 2 are both Riot Forge games. I'm a big League of Legends lore fan. I love all the lore. I love League. I love the characters in League.
Arcane is the greatest animated show ever made.
Arcane is absolutely astounding. Season 2 coming out this year.
That is a weird take.
Greatest dude, it's show. Game of Thrones good, bro. Arcane is fucking 100%. Mind-blowing good.
100%.
10 out of 10, masterpiece. One of the best seasons of television I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Straight 100%.
Up. All the anime fans are just eye-rolling you real hard.
I don't care.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Awesome.
I don't.
It's Spider-Verse good. Like, it's
amazing.
That fucking good.
Absolutely amazing. So the last 2 are from Riot Forge, from the Riot Forge Mageseeker, which is a pixel game featuring Silas. And the story of Silas, if you don't know the lore, Silas is a mage living in a place where they don't allow magic. And so his ability, he can take abilities from people. And so they basically use him and they lock him away and they use him to draw magic out of people. And I don't know how deep into his lore the game goes because I haven't played it yet, but his lore is fantastic and he's an amazing character. And I'm very excited to play that. I got it day of release because my partner got it for me and I have yet to play it. And then the other Riot Forge game is Convergence, who is based on a character named Echo, who was in Arcane. And Echo is young kid who his lore is actually, if you get a chance, you need to look at the lore. If you just look up League of Legends Echo lore and read his short stories, it's amazing. Young kid whose parents just struggled. They lived in a very poor area in the League universe. His parents struggled to do everything they could for him. And his last memory of them is them celebrating his 16th birthday. And so he developed something that he can go back in time with so he could relive that day over and over again because his parents passed. And so his lore is amazing. And so to play a game like Convergence, where you're able to like bring back time and everything, and that's a side-scrolling platformer. I've been dying to play it and haven't. So yeah, that's my very long list of games that I haven't played yet that came out in 2023. And that's not even all of it, but I saw some on your list and I was like, I gotta like leave. Yeah, I can't say everything.
We had a little convergence there. Johnny, let's move to you next, sir. Let's get it rolling with your list.
You
muted. Are so muted. My goodness. That's twice.
You're not off the hook yet, Mike. Because you were rolling
leave the shovel alone.
You were rolling your eyes over Arcane, and I said, I feel like that would probably have a pretty good Rotten Tomato score. What do you think the Rotten Tomato score is on Arcane Season 1?
Rotten Tomatoes means very little.
I'll give you a hint. It's 3 digits. It has a 100 score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's great. I watched the first 3 episodes of it. It's fine.
Okay,
you're not gonna sit here, okay, with your microphone and your face and tell me that Arcane is better than is the best animated show of all time, and that's just absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Okay, that's fair enough. Whatever. My list.
I could name 3 without thinking that are better than it.
Okay.
How about 1?
I'm willing to bet that the second Johnny said Arcane's the best animated series, you had already started thinking. So I don't want to hear that you could name 3 without thinking, because you were immediately thinking of 3 to throw at him. That's my theory.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I mean, it's just such a unbelievably bad take that Arcane is the greatest animated show of all time.
It's the best season of animated that I've ever watched. Yeah. I mean, I don't watch anime, but so that's fine.
That I believe is that it's the best that you've seen.
Okay, got it.
But I wouldn't declare that it's the greatest animated show of all time to anyone.
Okay. I mean,
that's a bit much.
I mean, there are plenty of critic reviews that like it transcends the media. This pushes animation
from old men who write reviews for Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, fine. Resident Evil 4 remake is on my list. Now here's the thing. I haven't played the Resident Evil 2 remake, and I own it. I haven't played the Resident Evil 3 remake, and I own it. So I think what I have to do here is when I can scoop the Resident Evil 4 remake for a nice sale price, and I've got all 3, I think I'm going to stream them all back to back. I think I just knock out those 3 back to back to back, because they're all supposed to be magnificent. And from what I've heard, the Resident Evil 4 remake is the best out of the whole bunch. And which I would believe, because out of those games, Resident Evil 4 was my favorite in the original batch. So that's on my list.
They're all amazing remakes.
I know,
100%.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil 4 was mind blowing. Yeah.
Next on the list, because of Mike's ridiculous recommendation, calling it a 10 out of 10 and his number 1 game of the year, Octopath Traveler 2 is on my must play list. I'm not looking forward to it being 80, 100, whatever, however many hours, but I'm hoping that I will get sucked into it and play it because it looks great.
It is fantastic.
If
it's not the greatest pixel art RPG of all time.
What's that?
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger, fair enough. Next up, yet another remake, Dead Space remake. Now I actually bought this one on a pricing error. Shout out to Wario64 on Twitter. I highly recommend go follow that account and turn notifications on, because Wario64, all he does is repost shit that's on sale and deals and stuff like that. And he gets pricing errors all the time. And there was one day, like 2-3 weeks ago where he just posted and was like, I don't know why, but if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you can buy the Dead Space remake right now. And I think it was $8. I think it was literally $7.99 for the Dead Space remake. And I have never bought a game that fast in my life. I was like, done. Buy now. Over. Okay, I got it. It's in my library. So I own it. It's installed. I need to play it. And honestly, the only reason why I didn't jump on it last year is because I just went through Dead Space 1 and 2, the original. So I wanted to get myself a little bit of distance before I go back in, but I am dying to play that game.
So good.
So perfectly
good.
done.
Next...
And it's different. I should mention because
yeah,
I think you brought this up before the show.
Yeah.
That you hadn't touched it yet because you just played the original last year. I think that means you should play it sooner.
Okay, so it's different enough.
Oh, it's super different.
Okay.
Like, it's the same levels and stuff, but the bosses and areas that were annoying are now like highlights of the game because they reworked them.
Okay.
And Talking Isaac is fantastic.
That's great. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Next up, a game that I think missed a lot of people's radars, but was very, very well reviewed. And that is The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. This is a visual novel game. I think on Steam, it's got like a 94% good reviews. I mean, everybody raves about this game. It's probably a sit down and bang it out in an afternoon, a la Doki Doki or something like that. But it's an officially licensed Sonic the Hedgehog visual novel that is called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'm just intrigued by something that crazy. So I really want to play that. And then the next two were they were games that I wanted to play, and I just, after they came out, the hype wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. So I just went, let me just wait. I'm going to let these things iron themselves out. I'm going to let them work out the kinks and get to where they need to be. Yeah, let them cook a little bit. Number one on that list is Redfall. I love first-person shooters. I know that this was on a lot of people's kind of stinker lists, but I also know that Mike has said he had a lot of fun with it, and Kim has said she's had a lot of fun with it. So I think I'll have a lot of fun with it. I just haven't touched it yet. So
I had fun with it because I played it with someone else.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to find somebody to bro up with and play it. But I do want to play it. So Redfall is on my list that I'd like to go back to. And lastly, Diablo IV. One of my favorite gaming moments with my wife was actually going through Diablo 3, and we beat the fucking pants out of that game on couch co-op on the PlayStation. So I'm waiting till I can scoop that for the right price on PS5, and then my wife and I can sit and rock it out on the couch. But I have not played a second of Diablo 4, and it's just sitting there waiting for me. So I'm gonna have
My partner and I went through and finished the story, and it's fun. I loved going through. It was my first Diablo game. It was really cool going through and meeting the characters and getting through the story. I haven't really touched it since, because it's like samey.
Yeah.
But it's definitely really cool to go through. Yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
Well, and that's why I haven't bought it yet, because for me, I know that I'm not the kind of gamer that is going to beat it and then grind and get better gear and grind and go to the next level of the next kind of raid and grind. And I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's me too. Yeah.
So if I were that type of gamer, I spend $60-$70 on Diablo and like, I'm going to get my money's worth because I'm going to play 100 or 150 or 300 hours. But whereas I know that's not going to be the case with me. I'm similar to you with it. I'm probably going to beat the boss and tinker with it for a day or two after that, and that'll probably be the end of it. So
yeah,
for me, it's a $20-$30 event. Once I can get it for cheap enough, I'll buy it. I'll probably bang it out in a week or two, and then that'll probably be it. But I do want to play it. I like the other Diablos, so it is on my list. That's it for me. I will say, Kim, about half of your games are now on my list.
yeah.
I mean, I do really want to play Dave the Diver. I do really want to play The Expanse and Shadow Gambit and Robocop and Mageseeker and Convergence. Those are all games that I want to play. So, yeah, especially Mageseeker, honestly. Mageseeker looks like it's right up my alley.
Yeah, it does. It does.
What about your list, Mike?
Very good. Man, before I get started, I just wanted to point out that Freakazoid also has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's get rolling.
What is that?
But he just hangs on to stuff, man.
I
do.
It's like Velcro.
No, you can't let it go.
This is how me and Johnny work. It totally is.
Velcro.
Yeah. So does Rocky and Bullwinkle. My first game is
Well, because he watches the first 3 episodes and goes, nah, I'm not really into this. And then he puts the stamp of it's a big pile of shit that's not worth watching. And then
I didn't say that.
The whole rest of the world's like, oh my God, Arcane. And Mike's like, don't care. It sucks. Don't want to watch it. It sucks.
No, see, but okay. Here's what happens. When I bounce off something that Johnny
This
loves.
is like Marvel.
It is. When I bounce off something that Johnny loves,
I can't stop pitching it. I can't.
His paradigm is that now I think it's garbage, not that it's just not for me. So this always happens when I'm like, Arcane is good, but it's not for me. And then he'll come out with like crazy shit, and he knows how I feel already. He already knows, and he's sitting here playing victim right now, Kim. You know, he's pouting it up for you because he already knows that this is what's going to happen when he says, it's the greatest show of all time. It's like, the fuck it is, dude. He knew exactly what Pokemon fucking Concierge has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. He throws that out there like, oh, this is special. It's the only show with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Get fucked, Johnny. My first game is Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars, Johnny.
Johnny, why is your face so bright now?
Because I was pulling up Rotten Tomatoes reviews.
Here, I'll give you the link. It's like 3 pages of trash that's rated 100%.
Yeah, you please play Sea of Stars, Mike. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, Sea of Stars is very high. Like I feel like that's the next game that I need to get onto. I was going to put Chained Echoes on here as well.
I think you'd enjoy that as well. Yeah.
Technically, Chained Echoes came out at the end of 22.
That's correct.
So
yep.
It's not really a 23. But I feel like both of those, I need to just bite the bullet, get them for my Switch. I know I have it on PlayStation Plus Extra. It feels like a Switch game to me. I feel like I need to play it on the Switch. Another big one. Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 16 is such a Mike Dawson game. So I really need to get on this. It's just time. Time was bad when it came out. The timing was awful.
Yeah.
And the timing is still awful because now I'm trying to keep up with the one new release that I'm into. We've got all this other shit coming out here at the end of this month and in the next month. I need to find more time. I need more time for Final Fantasy 16 because I really want to play this. Johnny, I know that you played through all of this game.
Do you already own it? You can borrow my copy if you want.
Oh, I'll just buy a copy. You know me, I gotta have the shit on the shelf. So it's one of those things.
Can I borrow your Last of Us Part 1?
Yeah, absolutely. We need to hang out soon anyway. So
Avatar 2.
Yeah, now that I've watched the first one.
Yeah, we got to do Avatar 2.
Watch Avatar 2. Kim, Atomic Heart is on my list.
Yes.
I really wanted to play this game when it came out. Same problem. It came out on top of so many other games that I was working on. And I just didn't have a chance to play it. Johnny, I know that you also played this game and enjoyed it as well.
Yep.
Do I need to make time to go back for this game?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love this game. It didn't get the best reviews. Did not get the best reviews. I loved Atomic Heart because it was just fun. It was just fun. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, for me, I thought it was good, not great, but I also really enjoyed the fact that it never really felt like it overstayed its welcome. Because a lot of those games you reach a point where you're like, okay, I fucking get it. I keep killing the same shit in the same fucking areas and the same hallways with the same type. This game manages to sort of keep it fresh and, it kind of has that Half-Life BioShock thing where it's like, oh, now it's like we're in the lab with the fucking crazy plants and shit, and that's what I'm dealing with. And then okay, now we're outside and it's all these big crazy robots, and like it manages to keep it fresh, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. For me, it was a really smooth playthrough. I mean, I think I banged it out in a week. It's I'd play it.
It was fun. I definitely think you should give it a go. I had a good time with it. And the soundtrack, I put it on the streamer mode, so I didn't get like the actual like soundtrack. I got the streamer soundtrack, which I love when games do that, by the way. And even the streamer soundtrack was absolutely fantastic. A lot of times games replace the music, like The Quarry. Some of the music choices, I was like, what the fuck is happening with this music? Atomic Heart did it right. They had great music for the scenes, even the streamer mode. It was really, really good.
Very good. Yeah, that's one that I'm still... I just need to find like the 10, 12 hours to play it. So that one seems a little bit more doable.
You would get a kick out of it. I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you'd have fun, yeah.
As we mentioned earlier, Liza P was also on my list. It was on Kim's. We already talked about that. Kim, Dredge. I so want to play Dredge.
My love.
It's horror fishing. Okay.
Sounds crazy.
I'm in.
Good. It's so good.
Next up on my list, I have a weird relationship with Assassin's Creed because I both love and fucking loathe it at the same time.
Isn't that everybody's relationship with Assassin's Creed at this point?
I think it's a lot of people, but there is that one cult of people that like live just for Assassin's Creed games. They are soulless.
What?
Beings.
That's a little extreme.
Right now, there's like at least 2 listeners going, "Oh,
Kim."
Yeah, seriously.
Kim.
What?
If the only video games, right? We all love Ubisoft to an extent, but if the only video games you ever played ever were just Assassin's Creed games, okay? Think about that.
I'm gonna see this as a challenge, and from now on, I'm only gonna play Assassin's Creed games. I'm only kidding. I could never do that.
And you'd have a IRL job in like 3 seconds.
That's it. My streaming career is down. I'm gonna watch my numbers go.
Shut the channel down.
All my support gone.
Yeah, and you'll be so thrilled, so you don't have to deal with all the Assassin's Creed like elitists coming in being like, "Oh, did you know this about the Isu?"
I really didn't have a problem. So you didn't even say the name yet, but everybody knows Assassin's Creed Mirage came out 2023.
God, I so want to play this because the whole promise of the harkening back to the old, smaller, more digestible Assassin's Creed formula.
Yes.
Just sings to me. That's what I wanted for a while, is them just to cut this like as good as Valhalla was, and Valhalla was fucking fantastic.
Too long.
Jesus fucking Christ. After playing that and Odyssey, I'm like, that was 200 hours of my life.
Yeah.
Between just those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I didn't realize how long Valhalla is.
Valhalla is brutal long.
Wow. So yeah, I started playing Mirage once again. Thank you, Ubisoft. They gave me Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I started playing it. And I will say, I think my only complaint about it really is that the parkour isn't as smooth as the original games. The parkour is a little bit, and it's because they used like, I think it was they used the Valhalla engine for Mirage. And so the parkour isn't quite as smooth as I was hoping it would be, but the main character, Bassam, is awesome. Love him. Voice acting's fantastic. And I was really enjoying it, but again, I just like so many games. But Mirage is actually on my list to work on for the competition in my Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely recommend it.
This next one I don't think has either of yours interests, but it's Blasphemous 2. I've heard so many good things about Blasphemous 2. I, of course, loved the first game, and I am super intrigued to get my hands on 3 weapons instead of just the one that you have in the first Blasphemous. And I also hear that the difficulty of Blasphemous 2 is not as mind-bendingly brutal as the first game. So very interested in that. And then, of course, Kim and Johnny, Alan Wake 2.
Yep.
Which I bought, is on my list. I
Get on it.
feel terrible that I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 or Alan Wake 2 yet, because I played a lot else last year.
Yep.
It feels like reading this list, I'm like, holy shit, I suck. I haven't played fucking anything. And I beat, what was it, 43, 45
Yep.
games last year?
And,
like I was on it.
And we failed to mention the most important title of all that all 3 of us fucking missed.
What's that?
Baldur's Gate 3.
I played Baldur's Gate 3. I just didn't finish it.
Well, I tinkered with it, but no,
yeah,
we
I put a little bit of time into it. I had a few streams of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, the more I keep looking at it, I'm like, this is it. This is somebody saying we made a CRPG that Mike will actually like.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got called out multiple avenues on that one. Somebody commented on the Facebook, was like, fucking number 1, Baldur's Gate 3. It was like, yeah, no, I know, we haven't played it yet. And then Niall DM'd me. It was like, I can't believe you guys did your fucking top 10 for the year, and fucking Baldur's Gate's not even in the conversation.
I am shocked that Niall didn't say anything to me, because he's been coming to my streams, and I'm shocked he didn't make fun of me for Baldur's Gate 3 yet.
Nah, he called me out hard. He just sent me a DM. I was like,
once he gets
dude,
more
I know.
comfortable,
I,
I have a feeling he's going to call me out real hard.
I was like, we did say at the end of the episode, like, we all want to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny, it's crazy you haven't played this game yet.
It's because I want to play it with my wife, and we were struggling with the TV thing, and now we have it on the PlayStation, so we're going to be playing it soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoo! We had a lot of games we didn't play, and some heated animated TV show discussions. So it's time to move on. I'm glad I clarified how Johnny tries to manipulate things to make me look like the bad guy here.
Arcane fucks.
Yeah. Okay, great. It's time for our closing thoughts. Kim, let's bounce back to you here.
Okay, listen. I don't know what made me think of this, because I already forgot. But in the midst of our conversations, I thought of this. I have an idea for a challenge for us, and I want to know what listeners think.
Uh-oh.
I would like for the 3 of us to play, whether it's each of us pick a different one or all 3 of us play, the worst game recommended. A really bad game. Like, really bad.
Like Rise of Kong.
Yes.
I mean, I played Gollum until I couldn't.
I would like for the 3 of us to play really bad games and like give our see what comes of it.
All right, throw a comment on the YouTube or
Yeah.
DM us on Twitter or something. If you got an idea for a really bad video game that you want to see one of us or all of us play, hit us up. Let us know.
Yeah.
That is.
Why would you put that out there?
Because
I mean, I already know. Kim, I've got one for you. All right.
What?
Do you guys just want to do this? I got one for you, Kim.
What?
I want you to play the 1993 classic Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
Where the hell can I even find that?
For anyone listening that is in the know, you are laughing your fucking ass off right now. I want Kim to play Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. It was released for the Philips CDI in 1993.
How would she even play this?
Basically the worst video game ever made.
How can I play this?
Oh, you'll find out.
What am I looking at?
It's the infamous Choose Your Own Adventure softcore adventure.
Yeah.
I'm
You
into
definitely
it.
you can't stream it.
Kofi?
You could totally play it on Kofi. Limited Run actually just did a re-release of this, so it's definitely been ported to like the PS5.
Okay.
So plumbers don't wear ties. I
It's
feel like
on
that's
PS5.
a perfect. Yeah, I know Limited Run released the game there recently, so I feel like that's a perfect one for you, Kim.
Okay.
Johnny,
Yes.
you're looking for an awful time.
Oh God.
Boy, do I have some ideas for
Oh God.
you, Johnny?
What?
I feel like for you, sir, we need some Night Trap.
Oh, I've already played Night Trap.
You've already played Night Trap.
Yeah, I've already played Night Trap.
Night Trap is
I'm old enough to remember a time when we thought Night Trap was the shit.
Okay, I got a better one. NES 1988. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Let's see.
That is your mission, is to beat Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh no.
Now I'm curious, what horrible game would you guys throw in my direction?
Well, since you're throwing plumbers don't wear ties at me, and you're throwing a 1988 game at Johnny, I want you to finish Gollum.
I it's broke.
You gotta go to a previous checkpoint and get through it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to fire it back up and see if it's unbroke.
Got to get through it.
But I mean, Kim, I'll be honest with you, that is not the worst game I've ever played by any stretch.
Huh. So we have to think about a better one.
This Jekyll and Hyde game.
You need
like
to go
a fucking
worse.
asshole.
You need to go worse than God. You don't know what I just gave you guys.
All right, listen.
Oh God, this looks
How
terrible.
about
maybe you could take some time and think about it.
okay, listen. How about the
There's
seventh
one
guest?
there's one game that you could say that I will say no to.
What's that?
Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero.
What
That is a
about
hard no.
what about see, but I like this game and I don't know if it's bad. We'll have to think about it. Maybe Johnny and I'll have to
Hey,
like
give it some thought, because
brainstorm.
I'm knee deep in Avatar and everything, and yeah.
Okay.
But plumbers don't wear ties, Mickey. That oh my God, that's perfect. Perfect.
You need to
Finish-
roll.
that bad,
You need to
huh?
roll credits on Superman 64, Mike.
I've already done it, but I could do it again.
You've
No.
already beat Superman 64.
Yeah, dude, come on. Who are you talking to here? Who are you talking? That game's horrible.
It is very bad.
Absolutely fucking terrible. But it's playable at least.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, I'm all over the back. Don't you two forget, I play bad games. I go out of my way to play them. So I get great idea.
Dude, plumbers don't wear ties. It's on
Kim-
the 50 worst games of all time list.
Kim, great idea, and I love that it immediately backfired on you. Johnny,
Yeah.
any closing thoughts for us?
Yeah. I actually, I happened to pull up Kotaku while we were recording this episode, and I see that Rocksteady has officially lifted the NDA on the closed alpha for Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. So I can talk about. I played this alpha in November. Me and one of our listeners and good friends of the channel, Doot to Do, him and I got online and we had 2 sessions together and played all of the content that was available for the alpha. So we basically played it to the credits and said, hey, thanks for your experience and stuff. And I will say, Mike is absolutely right. This game is Crackdown. It's Crackdown. It's jumping rooftop to rooftop with guns and using your abilities to. But that being said, the Rockstar games are known for the traversal being a lot of fun. And I will say that's the case here. The traversal for any of the characters is pretty fun. The gunplay was very tight. My main sticking point with this game, the story is fucking dope. The story is super dope. The fact that Brainiac has come to Earth, and right before you even fucking start the game, basically all of the heroes have already been mind controlled and are already evil. Evil Batman, evil Flash, evil Wonder Woman. It's fucking awesome. And like they're full blown super villain bad. They're fucking murdering people in the streets bad. It's awesome. So although I wish they didn't go with the games as a service thing, I wish they didn't go with the co-op thing. I didn't think the game was a big piece of crap, which like the internet is pooping on this game really hard right now.
I haven't seen anything. Are people generally disliking it?
Well, it's not out. It's not out. So everybody,
are they just liking what they got from the alpha?
Well, I mean, no. What
it looks horrible.
The reason why they lifted the NDA on the alpha is because I think there were people that played the alpha and enjoyed it, and they said we need somebody saying something good, because right now the internet is just going, "Hey, that game that's about to come out is a big piece of dog shit," and it's like a lot of it's coming from people that haven't played the game. I did not think the game was a big piece of dog shit. Immediately it felt graphically better than Gotham Knights. The gameplay felt very tight. I mean, these conversations we've had with these multiplayer games, if you are a person that has people to play with, if you've got a group of 2 or 3 people that you could squad up with, I think you'd have a fucking really good time with this game. I played through the alpha with Dude, and the whole time in voice chat, him and I were going, this is pretty cool, right? And we're like, yeah, we're having fun with this, right? The story's fucking pretty neat, right? And we're like, the whole time we were like really pleasantly surprised. So I want to be a voice over here on the side going, don't be terrified of Suicide Squad. I don't think it's, a 5 out of 10 or anything like that. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, but I had fun with it. So I'm actually looking forward to playing that one. But that's my closing thought. Now that I can share my thoughts on it.
That's awesome that you can finally say something.
Yeah.
I had to mums the word for the last 2 months.
Perfect. Guys, that was fun.
It was fun.
That's fun. There's definitely some fun moments in that episode. Good times. But I think we've gone on for long enough.
We have.
Time to ramp this puppy up. We will, of course, be back again next week with another great episode for you to enjoy. Until that time, I'm Mike Dawson.
I'm Johnny Paulus.
I am Kim. I just read a book about dinosaur erotica, Ponticelli.
Tune in next time. Take care.
Catch y'all on the flip flop.
Ooh, yeah.
Triceratops and bottoms.